Hey friends, Lisa with Greenhookstudio here with another crochet tutorial for you. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like making a 22 hat. If you would like to make a little fedora style hat for your doll or animal, grab some worsted weight yarn and a D hook and let's get going. All right, so even though Taylor's hat here is black, I am going to demonstrate using purple so that you all can see the stitches better. Black is so tricky on the eyes sometimes and doesn't quite show up as well on camera. So Taylor, we're gonna make a purple one. I've got my worsted weight yarn and my D hook, and I'm gonna go to work. The hat starts off with 6 single crochet in a magic ring. All stitches are going to be single crochet. We're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to tighten my ring, and this will become the top of the hat. Now I'm going to increase in each stitch around to make 12 single crochet. Why did I choose a splitty yarn? There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I've got my first round of 6, my second round of 12. I'm going to do another round of standard increases, 1 single crochet and 1 increase around to make 18 stitches. 1, increase here, 2, and 3, 4, increase here, 5, 6, 7, increase here, 8, 9, 10, increase here, 11, and 12. 13, increase here, 14, and 15, 16, increase here, 17, and 18. That is our third round. Now we're gonna do our next round of increase, another standard increase row. We're going to increase up to 24, which means we're going to single crochet 2 and then an increase. So all of our increases will be on a multiple of 4. See, you're using math outside of school. 1, 2, and 3, 4 is our increase. 5, 6, increase here, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, increase, 13, 14, increase here for 15 16. Here we go. 17. 18. Increase here. 19 and 20. Go 21, 22, 23, 24 is our last increase in this row. Here we go. Now our next round is going to be the last part of the top of the hat. We are going to increase another standard increase row up to 30 stitches. So it will be single crochet 3 and then an increase in the 4th stitch. So it will be on the multiples of 5 if you're counting and using math. 1, 2, 3, and here we go, increase here, 4, 5. Six, 7, 8, increase here, 9 and 10, 11, 12, 13, increase here, 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18, increase here, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, increase here, 24 and 25, almost there, 26, 27, 28, last increase in this row, 29 and 30. There is the top of our hat. Now what we are going to do is do our next round, no increases, just 30 single crochet, but we're going to use the back loop only. So we're going to go in here for all of our stitches. What this does is create a change in direction so that the hat, hard to see with the black, so that the hat basically turns a corner and will go downward. So this row is just 30 single crochet, back loop only. Okay, there is my last stitch of the back loop only row. Now I'm just going to do one row of 30 single crochet, just regular around. Nothing back loop or front loop, just 30 single crochet. And there we go. Last stitch for that round. So now we have the top part of the hat. We are going to change direction again so that we can make the brim of the hat. Before we used front loop only, or excuse me, back loop only to change direction. Now this time we're going to change direction going the other way. So we are going to use front loop only so that the brim folds upward. So we are going to do a round of single crochet in the front loops, and it is going to be single crochet 4 and then an increase. So this time is multiples of 6 where your increases are, and we are going to end with 36 stitches total in the row. Again, front loop only. 1, get in there, 2, 3, 4, increase here, 5, and 6. You can see it starts to fold out a little bit. 7, 8, 9, 10, increase here, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, increase here, 17, and 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, next increase here, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, increase here, 29, and 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, last increase of this row, 35, 36. All right, you can see that it is shaping up to be a hat. We have one more row and then we are finished with this hat and get to sew it onto the doll. This last row is going to be using both loops, no more front loop or back loop only. It's going to be 5 single crochets and an increase. So this time we're working in multiples of 7 to end up with 42 stitches in the round. All right, let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here's our first increase, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, next increase here, 13, and 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, our next increase is here, 20, and 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Next increase here, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, increase here, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, last increase right here, 41 and 42. All right, that's all we need for the crochet portion. I am now going to cut a tail and fasten off. What I like to do to fasten off and make a clean edge on something like a hat is pull this last stitch all the way through, and then I'm going to take my needle and see if you can see this here. I'm going to skip this stitch and go in the front of this one here, so one away from this last stitch, and pull it through. And then I am going to go back through where this yarn came from, back through that stitch to make this look like a stitch. Then I pull that tight and it makes a smoother end than just like a slip fasten off might look. Now, if you want to just have the hat be a hat that is taken on and off, you can use this tail to weave the end back and forth a couple times and trim to fasten it off completely. What I like to do is attach it to the doll so that it is never lost or falls off or anything like that. So what I do to be able to sew this to the doll is I'm going to weave the yarn down through to where this front loop only row was and come back out on the other side. So I've basically gone in 2 rows. So I wove through and came out 2 rows up, and then I will use the space in between the front loop only row and the main row at the bottom of the hat before we turned to sew in between these stitches onto the head of the doll. So that's a lot of explaining. Here is Taylor who needs a hat. Here, Tay Tay. I am going to sew using her black hat as the demo because she needs her hat. I don't want to sew a purple one on her head. And sometimes I even get a little crazy and use pins. I recommend it if you want to find the exact correct placement for something that you're sewing on. A lot of times I don't, but sometimes I do. This is a case when I definitely want the hat to sit exactly right on her head. So I will just take a few pins and just stick them in, but not where I'm sewing. I want them a little bit up so that they're not in my way. Sorry, Taylor, stabbing you in the head today. All right, I think that's good enough. That'll keep it in place while I attach it. I'm just going to go in and out in between these 2 rows here. It doesn't have to be every stitch. We're gonna probably skip a couple stitches in between of just what's easy to go in and out from. You're gonna make sure that you go through the head of the doll and back out. Just make sure you don't pull too tight so the stitches show. You want them to hide, but not be too tight. Alright, so now what I'm going to do, that I've gotten all the way back around, is just go down underneath. And I'm going to tie my knot under here just so it's hiding. Just go through a stitch and back through to make my knot. And then I'm going to hide this inside the hat. Just stick it up through. And then for security, go back through one more time, back down. And I will trim that. And I like to use my needle to make sure that ends don't show through. So let me just kind of wiggle back and forth to make sure that presses in. And take my pins out. And then just kind of push on and shape the hat. Now Taylor is ready to party. Thanks so much for watching. I hope your hat turned out great. I would love to see your finished projects, so please tag me on the socials at greenhookstudio, and don't forget to subscribe for more crochet content in the future. Thanks for watching.